What's up, infidels, morons, wrestling fans, and all of the like? We're back for another edition of the Friday Locker Room right here on Hami Media Group and channelattitude.com. I'm your host today, MSG. I don't know where Ben Hameen is. He could be sleeping still. Ben Hameen works really hard. For all I know, he's huddled up under his bed in the silo. Maybe he'll join us. I haven't heard from him yet, so that's why we're starting a little bit later. But I'm not alone. I'm here from all the way down under, yeah? Greatest podcast here in the world. Pierce the Truth Austin. How you doing, Pierce?
Oh, yeah, you know who it is. It is the truth, the dad bod god, the bald, the beard. Yes, and the fucking beautiful Piers Austin. I'm excited to be back once again on the HMG network here with one of my favorite people of all time, Mr. MSG.
Oh, that's nice of you to say. That's nice.
Always a pleasure, bro. Always a pleasure.
Well, thank you. As I like to, as you know, since we are in control.
We're in complete control now. Yeah, fuck yeah!
You rapist.
I've got that one too, actually. Let me put that one. Here we go.
Come on out, you rapist!
Such a Win Simpson.
Give me what I want!
I did it in reverse order. Normally you're supposed to do the drops first, and then we hit the music. But, you know, since Ben Hameen's not here, we can do whatever we want. But we're back. Shout out to our early people in the chat room, Jerome, Liz, and Bobo, who are already here on another glorious Thursday morning as we record for the Friday Locker Room. You guys, wrestling sucks sometimes, you know? Pierce, you know, we were having that conversation on here before it started.
Wrestling shit.
Wrestling shit.
Wrestling's fucking retarded. I love it, but it's retarded.
Yeah, it's it can be. And I think it is a challenge sometimes when we do these shows is to look for things to talk about. Like, oh, let's break down the headlines and let's go through all the world of professional wrestling. And without Ben Hameen here to go nuclear, sometimes those headlines are just like, nah, these are headlines. But we have them here, and I've got Pierce Austin here, so maybe Pierce can take over the role of the hothead nuclear guy.
Yeah, let's go, baby. I'm always ready to fire off, bro. Because I've seen one news topic, bro, that looks pretty interesting, man. And
well, serve it up, Pierce. What is it? You serve up the first topic then.
Well, you know, if anyone here at HMG knows me, like it knows a bit about me, I come from Wrestling with Tragedy, where we used to investigate some pretty heavy shit that happened in the pro wrestling world and also in the world in general. But I've just seen this headline. It says Rhea Ripley reveals scary encounter with crazy woman who stalked her house. Now it says here, I'm just bringing this fucker up. Okay, it says we looked at the Ring camera and there's some crazy, like I'm talking about obviously the Ring camera, the doorbell cameras or whatever. There's some crazy chick at our door, and I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, why does she keep ringing the doorbell and just stand there for eternity? And then we had our Australian friends who live near us, and they came to pick up our mail, and they go, this is for Rhea Ripley, and I think it's fan mail. I was like, oh shit. Who the hell has my address? That's just something that people shouldn't be doing. That's kind of like crossing the line. No shit. We are normal people outside of work. We like our privacy. We like to have normal humanity. Fuck, bro. That's some crazy shit, man. Like, bro, if you think back to was it Sonya Deville had that stalker that fucking tried to invade her house and like kill her and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that was gonna abduct her. That was like a couple of years ago, bro. And then they do like, I don't know, like, yeah, this sort of shit, bro. There's some crazy fans out there, bro, and they're on another level, bro. And that's why, like, you see, I see, like, it was like my feed is always so wrestling related, bro. And there's like this group of like for wrestling fans, and they post like their photos with wrestlers, and I swear it's the cringiest fucking shit. Like if I sent you the photos, bro, it's like that. Like I saw a photo of like Rhea Ripley's posing with this dude. She's wearing like this top, full abs exposed, like pants down, like you can see the V line and shit. And this fan's like full got his arm like around her and shit. And it's like, dude, if I'm getting a photo with someone, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not touching them like that, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the only thing that's acceptable to touch them is if you do like the cool little handshake, like the or something like that. Like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? That's usually as far as I want to go as far as touching somebody in a picture.
Yeah, bro. But even
holding like a handshake or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's like those like weird fucking Chris Brown fan interaction photos. You know what I mean? Like on another level. But then again, bro, like, man, if wrestlers like that let that shit fucking happen, man, then the crazy people are gonna get little fucking things in their brain going, oh shit, we're in a relationship now, or you know what I mean? Like that's how they fucking work, bro. Oh, they then look at that photo, obsess over that fucking person, and then, you know, next thing you know, there's this sweaty fucking person jumping out at them in the bushes at 1 o'clock in the morning when they're walking in at home. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I don't agree with people showing up to people's homes unannounced, no matter what industry you're in. Everyone deserves their own privacy when they're in the vicinity of their residence. However, I think we also need to put a little bit of the onus on the wrestler here, okay? Because here's what I'm thinking. You're making $100,000 to $1 million a year. I don't know what her contract is, right? Let's just say she's making 7 figures. Is it not logical to think at this point in time with your superstar status that you probably need to get like a P.O. box? So that way you can give the P.O. box out to people and say, hey, this is where you can send fan mail. That way people have that address, they can send it there, and then you reduce the amount of people trying to, you know, research what your actual home address is to get you this fan mail. Am I wrong here? Is that a hot take, Pierce?
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a hot take there, bro. But at the end of the day, like crazy fucks are crazy fucks. You know what I mean? Like when you're like part of the WWE, this global, worldwide brand, and company. You know what I mean? Like a crazy person and a stalker are gonna find out where you know what I mean? These little intricate things about the people, and that's why like some of them turn up at fucking airports and hotels and all that sort of shit, bro, because they're fucking unhinged people, man. And that's what it is, man. And I think that, you know, maybe these fan fest interactions and you read stories about them, like the handler saying, no, you've got to keep this fucking distance and that distance, bro. No fucking no wonder, bro. Like, because this is how this sort of shit starts. You let him get too fucking close, bro. Put this way, man. I've appeared on quite a few wrestling shows, right? Not the level of WWE, but I've appeared on quite a few. Okay, I've had, you know, been on some decent shows, right? And I've been, you know, asked and humbled enough to be asked to be in have a photo with fans and all that sort of shit. And I always do it, but my hands are always like this. I'm doing a gesture. If I'm a heel, I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Like I'm never touching someone, because it's like, bro, I don't want anyone to touch me. And the thing is, if I put my arm around them, it gives them an invitation that they can then put their hands on me. And it's like, I'm not that kind of person, bro. I don't like to be touched. So I'm just like, yeah, cool, man. I'll take your photo. Cool. I'll pose. I'll do whatever you want. Just don't touch me.
Liz says the sad thing is this makes headlines because she's famous, but regular peeps have had this happen with peeps who they met one time or had a single date with, and they go psycho. People are mother fluffing crazy. You know, and I agree with that, Liz. You know, that's kind of my part of my issue. I was saying, you know, is, you know, obviously she's famous, so more people are going to be after her. I don't know. I still feel like there is some onus on the celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Because like in every facet of entertainment, once you get big enough, people are going to try and get to you, for whatever reason, whether it's because they're psycho and they think you're hot, there's a fanaticism about them. So I think there does have to be some onus on the celebrity to take precautionary measurements. They need to kind of guard themselves and put up barriers. And if you're not going to put up barriers, then more things like this are going to happen. You know, I'm not saying she shouldn't be allowed to live at her home freely and privately. Everyone, like I said, deserves that right. But you know, whether that's maybe she needs to be, I don't know if she's using her shoot name or if she's using a different name. You know, she needs to take precautionary measurements so that way people won't just show up at her house because they know exactly where she lives.
Yeah, but like we also don't know that she does make precautionary measurements. I mean, like
That's fair.
she's a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like she'd walk down the street and like WWE and wrestling is probably as big now as it's ever been, if not bigger, right?
Right? I
So
agree.
like you know what I mean? She's a household name to a certain extent, and she's been pretty much the face of women's like in WWE's women's division in what the past like 3 years, like 5 years, maybe. Like, is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, she's been the most popular.
Yeah, like with you know what I mean. So you know what I mean. Like, this sort of shit's gonna happen, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that she deserves it or any of that shit. I don't think she deserves it, and she's actually she's a sweetheart of a person as well, and she's remained very humble. After she's been signed and after all of her success.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just starting to not. I don't know. I don't want to be like I don't feel bad for these people because I do. I just at some point there's got to be some like how is it that we hear more? Maybe it's because we're in the wrestling bubble, but I'm like, how is it that we hear more stories about wrestlers in these situations than we do regular A-list celebrities? What are they doing different?
Because it probably happens a lot more fucking often to them than you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They probably have like fucking 10 or 15 of these people just parked out the front of their house and shit.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it is factual shit, bro, but it's like, you know, when you come down to it.
I mean, that's a good point. There is always paparazzi around following these people. So it's like they're constantly staked out around corners, around in front of people, in front of their houses and stuff like that. But, you know, and maybe they've got a little bit more money to, you know, have gated buildings and security around. But that's another thing. Maybe she needs to hire some security. You know what I mean?
Have you seen how Justin Bieber deals with like paparazzi and fans and shit showing up at his house and invading his private space?
For the most part.
Like he is like, dude, like you don't want to say what you want to about the Biebs, right? But like how he interacts in that, he's so humble, but he's like he's just how he talks. And he's like, what are you doing? Like, this is my house, man. Like, this is where I come to rest. Like, this is where I'm a father. This is where my family live. Like, seriously, you can't just give me this. Like, and then they're like, oh, okay, sorry. And one fan was like, well, can I just like get a photo? And he's like, fuck no, and just walked off. And I'm just like, fuck, man. Like he should have just like been like, fuck off, like get the fuck it. But he was just very humble at how he deals with that situation.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Beaver music fan, but I definitely appreciate what he does in regards to like calling out the paparazzi and people following him around and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure, man.
Well, we got no Ben Hameen here, which, you know, I wanted to get his thoughts on this story because, over the weekend, as we saw, the United States conducted airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities amid Iran's conflict with Israel. Iran's foreign minister has threatened consequences in response, and this has led to concern about WWE traveling to Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions. Now, in an update by Mike Johnson of PW Insider, he says that WWE chartered flight to Saudi Arabia, carrying most of the talent heading to this week's Friday Night SmackDown and Night of Champions in Riyadh, left Miami, Florida around 5 p.m. Eastern. We are told that WWE's John Gabork, who oversees the production of Saudi shows, is very much the company liaison to the country, flew from Riyadh to meet with the talents and take the charter flight back over with them, in part to ensure that everyone and everything was fine, and that this trip would be no different than the usual visits to the Middle East. There was also an update as well that said, I guess according to PW Insider, there were some stranded employees that have finally made it to Saudi Arabia, where they will be joined by some of the WWE roster shortly. Instead of the usual itinerary where the entire roster flies over together, several talents are reportedly taking flights over from different cities. As it stands, WWE is set to hold. So yeah, I guess people got stranded in there, and as far as in Saudi Arabia, some of the staffers.
I heard something like that went down. But like, what do you mean stranded? Like, can you?
I think elaborate? They were stranded. They were stranded in the Qatar airport.
So, but that could have just been like a flight got cancelled. Then they had to like reorganize another flight. So that could have been like they were stranded for 20 minutes until another flight was booked, essentially, right?
Well, it says with a precarious ceasefire in effect between Iran and Israel, WWE is still presenting Night of Champions. The war between Israel and Iran had led to much of the airspace over the Persian Gulf being restricted, and the restrictions led to various WWE employees being stranded in Qatar as Iran was bombing U.S. military targets in the country. But it sounds like they have finally made it to Saudi Arabia. I mean, do you think this is risky on their end to be doing this WWE Blood Money show while a war potentially breaks out, Pierce?
No, because I think WWE. I know, because I think WWE is a big enough company that they would have risk and compliance that would have assessed it and gone, okay, this is the likelihood of something happening. This is the risk of something happening. And they would have deemed it safe. You know what I mean? Like, surely WWE would have a team like that, which would be assessing stuff before they would make any sort of plans to take people over there.
I mean, that's fair, but I also think about the corporate side, and the money side. And Saudi Arabia is paying them a lot of money. So they're going to do whatever needs to get done to get their people over there to build a show because they've got such a huge financial investment with Saudi Arabia.
But apparently, like like people aren't paying for tickets for the show, right? Because WWE, like the Saudi Arabia is paying WWE for the show,
right? Right, they're paying that large sum amount, whatever it is, a big contract for 10 years. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a financial incentive from WWE to fulfill their obligation, and they have a relationship with Saudi Arabia that they don't want to hinder by not showing up. So I also think that plays into it as well. It's like we got to do whatever we can to make it to Saudi Arabia.
Well, that's why, like, WWE right now, like where years ago WWE, when they came to Australia, they would go, Sydney, Melbourne, pardon me, the major cities, right, which would be Sydney, Melbourne, Queensland, Brisbane, Perth, Western Australia, whatever. Now they come out, they go to Perth because the Perth government or the Perth whatever have basically paid WWE to come out there and put a show on.
Okay.
Whereas
Australia's not in a war right now.
No, it's not. But what I'm also saying is WWE isn't touring to put on shows in like everywhere where they're going and to, you know what I mean? Like they're selling out to the highest bidder for all their shows. So yeah, it could be, depending on the money and the contracts involved in it, that could be the case. But I also think that if they put that many people at risk or in harm's way and something happens and, deaths occur or injury, you know what I mean? Dude, that is opening them up for a world of fucking trouble.
Yeah, but does that matter to this company? I mean, they've left people.
Dude, imagine if you have fucking all of your fucking like talent that went over there completely wiped out.
Yeah, but haven't we seen women left in the Middle East stranded?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Haven't we seen WWE before have employees who take shits on other people's heads?
Yeah, pal.
I just wouldn't put anything past this company at this point. Whatever their owner is,
Yeah, but it's different now. Like, surely
is it really different?
I don't know, man. I don't know. The entertainment is a fuckery business.
Elite Video Production says, can we talk about how the pay-per-view is called Night of Champions, yet there is only 2 titles being defended?
That is the most retarded shit ever.
Well, it is still plural, Night of Champions. There are 2 champions there, so it's still playing into it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of this Night of Champions pay-per-view. Kind of pointed out there as there's not really a lot of championships. I also thought that, as I've been talking about before, the King of the Ring tournament has been how they set it up with 4-way matches for the first round. I thought was stupid. We should have had a longer drawn out King of the Ring tournament. Heck, we should have had, more King of the Ring matches. I could have filled out this card. I think they pulled the Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles match, which is set for the Intercontinental title. So I mean, other than what you've got, who's the U.S. Championship match you've got between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa? Gunther's not defending his title there. John Cena is defending his title against CM Punk. And yeah, that's really your 2 championship matches right now that are forecasted for this event. So there's not a lot of championship matches.
Why not put the tag titles there? Like, why not? I suppose, like, depending on how big of a crew they're taking over as well, right?
Yeah, that is true as well. Let's take a look here. I'll pull this up. Night of Champions 2025. What is the card? Night of Champions 2025 card. Let's take a look here. So yeah, we've got Punk versus Cena. We've got
Punk versus Cena this one. Fucking.
We got the Queen of the Ring tournament come to a head with Asuka versus Jade Cargill, and the King of the Ring with Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, and then we got Jacob Fatu puts his United States Championship on the line against Solo Sikoa. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez are going to fight in a street fight, and Karrion Kross gets his first PL single match in forever as he looks to take down Sami Zayn. So yeah, the card, other than the top 2 matches, or really other than the top match and the King of the Ring matches, there really isn't anything on here that's really exciting. And I don't care what anybody says. I think that the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring are kind of predictable at this point. I think Cody Rhodes is going to win. Everyone's like, no, Randy Orton's going to win because they're going to set up Randy Orton versus John Cena again at SummerSlam. I don't think so. I think we're going to set up Cody versus John Cena at SummerSlam. I could also see Seth Rollins even hanging on to that briefcase and not cashing in on the Gunther Goldberg situation. And he could cash in on Cody Rhodes after John Cena beats him, or after he beats John Cena. There's a myriad of different things you could do with that Money in the Bank briefcase, but I think ultimately what we're going to end up seeing is Cody Rhodes winning the King of the Ring. And I'm predicting, in my opinion, I think Jade Cargill is going to win the women's because that's going to set up.
I agree.
That's going to set up the long-term feud with her and Naomi after Jade Cargill wins the title or goes after it, right? So
yeah, I mean that makes the most sense, and it adds the most level, like another level of the storyline between her and Naomi. The men's one, I think it would be Cody Rhodes going over, and then I think that would also lead to a Randy Orton heel turn.
Interesting. Okay, so
I think Randy will turn heel because he's even said in promos, he's like, I love you, Cody, but I will step over your dead body to get to that title. You know what I mean? Like, he's made it, you know what I mean? In promos, I think the hint has been there for a turn. And I think that something like that would be the payoff for the turn.
So
the turn would be the payoff, but that would be the cause of the payoff. So
your thought point would be Randy Orton turns heels and beats Cody Rhodes?
No, Cody Rhodes beats Randy, but then Randy turns heel. Maybe have him fucking join up and fucking partner up with Cena and get Cena, buddy, and then I don't know, he turns on Cena and I don't know. My mental brain starts going down deep rabbit holes of booking where it's like, okay, where could this go then there? Where can it go from here and here and here and here and here and here and here?
Right.
So, but I think that there's money to be made. Even having keep Cody away from John Cena for a little bit longer till about WrestleMania season next year, and have Randy keep.
Well, John Cena's last match is supposed to be in December, right? That's when it's supposed to be. That's the rumor. His final match is going to be in December this year because this is his last.
How many final matches did Terry Funk have again?
I know, but John Cena's. I believe the guy. I believe John Cena when he says this is it. This is his final streaming year or his final year of wrestling on the circuit. I don't think we're going to see any more John Cena matches after this year. Let's see. Bobo says Night of Champions should be a PLE of all champ versus champ matches. And Liz agreed. That is what the old WCW pay-per-views were, all champ versus champion matches.
That's true, but let me put it to you like this, right? With everything that's going on in Saudi Arabia, maybe they turn around and they said to their talent, okay, whoever isn't comfortable in going doesn't have to go. And the people who are comfortable in going, cool, let's go. And maybe that was where they came to the decision where it's like, okay, we have enough for a card. It's not the most spectacular card, but it's a card. Maybe the New Day went, fuck that, we don't want to go. Maybe Walter went, fuck that, I don't want to go. maybe Solo went. Oh, Solo's on the card, right?
Yeah.
Solo went, yeah, I'll go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, know what I mean?
I mean. I love how like this Samoan guy's turned fucking Mexican.
Yeah, I
He's like,
mean?
Viva la raza uso. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like maybe that was like I'm just throwing it out there that maybe talent said, fuck it. They were given an option to go and not go.
All right. I mean that's a fair point. I can see what you're laying down here. Let's get into some podcasting. We're a podcast here. So for those who missed it, recently Kevin Owens was a part of the What Do You Want to Talk About podcast. And on that podcast, him and Cody Rhodes discussed a litany of different things. Some of those things, of course, had to do with some of their fellow wrestlers as well as friends and whatnot. But during that at one point, apparently here there was some stuff said by about Ryback. Tell me, make sure you can hear this.
Hearing about ex-WWE guys that overestimated their appeal.
Yeah.
Just because they were coming off a WWE run. And I think, a good example. Charged insane.
So apparently the rumor there is that he was referring to Ryback. That's the rumor that they're talking about Ryback. So Ryback apparently has issued a public response. Here's what he has to say. I was made aware and saw a clip of Owens fight and Cody, two guys I've always liked and got along with. It's clear they were referencing me even with the name censored. For context, I was booked for solid for 3 straight years after WWE. My rate was set by my then manager, Pat Buck. And every promoter I worked with made money and got my full effect, meet and greets, matches, fan time, all of it. What's often left out, I walked away from a multi-million-dollar WWE contract. I wasn't fired. I needed a 5-disc fusion and a full right shoulder replacement at 34. I was told not to wrestle again. I had nerve damage that risked paralysis if I continued. I had to stop taking bookings entirely. Why? Because my doctors told me for the stem cells to work properly, I needed to stop wrestling. I also made the choice to stay home and care for my dog, Sophie, who developed severe disc disease and had multiple ruptures and surgery. Is he saying that his dog was paralyzed as well from same back issues? I refused to put her down just to keep traveling and making more money. I had already had what I needed. Sophie turns 10 this November, and every second with her was worth it. I poured everything into rebuilding my health and my brand with Feed Me More Nutrition. I've had 20 stem cell procedures and was blessed to regrow all 5 discs in my back. I'm now finally close to being able to return. So yes, I do feel the comment was a low blow, especially coming from 2 guys I respected and spoke well of, but I'm not bitter. I made peace with WWE and let it go. This isn't a storyline. It's real life. Survival, growth, perspective. I love Kevin. I hope Kevin has a strong recovery, and I send him and Cody the best. What are your thoughts on Ryback's response? Is Ryback continually overhyping himself to something that he maybe thinks he was inside of a WWE squared circle? Or do you think? I
think he's a worker, man. Like workers will always try and get themselves over in every chance possible. And anytime that they, especially if they have a platform to get themselves over, they're going to take it. I think the way that he addressed it, he was trying to be humble, but I could definitely feel like in the words that he was using that he was a little bit fucking hurt. Dude, fucking, I don't know, man. Wrestler, like, I don't know, if you sell shit and you react to shit, then the boys are going to hone in more, and it's just going to be more and more and more, right? And Ryback, from what I've heard, has been notorious for fucking like selling to fucking like ribs and shit like that, and then like getting fucking worked up. So people fucking rib him, you know what I mean? Because they know they get a reaction from him. And then again, here we go, because he's reacted to it. They've got the reaction. The best thing that Ryback could have done is just fucking no-sell it completely and not even fucking say a word about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't get why Ryback thinks he's bigger than he is. He had a short run in WWE. Yeah. It didn't really make an impact. And ever since he's left, I get it. From what he's saying from health issues, that's why he hasn't tried to continue professional wrestling right now outside. But it's like it feels like it's just a guy who's constantly like trying to get attention.
Yeah, and it could be because, as I said, wrestlers want to get themselves over, and that they're always going to try and do that. But for the most part, yeah, like you look at it where his life is now, where his life was when he was a WWE star. You know what I mean? Like on top of the world, probably the high point of his life, making the most money he's ever made in his life there for a period of what? He was there for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like it was good. 8-10 years he was under contract with WWE, and now he's not. Like I don't know what he's doing financially, if he's doing well or if he's doing poorly, but like, dude, like that's got to fucking sting a little. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you were a monster on TV every single week years ago, and now you're a cold fart warmed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, from a psychological standpoint, I get what you're saying. I try to think of on a smaller scale. Obviously, I'm not a WWE wrestler, but I've had jobs. I was making good money, and they ended, and I just move on. You know what I mean? But that's just me personally. I'm just like, okay, well, that chapter is closed. I've got to move on to the next chapter. I can't sit around and cry and sulk and think about how things went right or wrong. I've got to keep it fucking moving.
But some people can't do that, bro. Some people, like, you know what I mean? Just
grow up.
Yeah, but just because he was a WWE star doesn't mean that he's not fucking mentally fucked in the head. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Ryback always seemed a little bit fucking, I don't know, retarded to me. Like, he just did, bro. Like, he just seemed a little bit like, feed me more.
Feed me more.
Get up. Sit down. Look at me. Now look away. Give me a steak. Feed it to me. Rub my nipples.
Okay, all right. Well, there's your Ryback update. There was also some more information. You should go check out I don't normally say go check out Cody Rhodes' podcast, but there was some good conversation on there with him and Kevin Owens. They talked about Matt Cardona. They also talked about 2CW, which we don't have Ben Hameen here to talk about with, but 2CW did share a clip that Kevin Owens talked about how he loved working at 2CW, how him and the Bucks loved working there, how that the Bucks were so popular at one point in time they couldn't book the 2CW couldn't book the Bucks on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So they booked a Tuesday night show, and they called it something along the lines, we booked this show because this is the only night the Young Bucks could wrestle. And they still ended up selling it out on a Tuesday night.
That's a good effort.
Yeah. So, they had lots of positive things to say about 2CW. Apparently 2CW might be coming back for another show, but that's not confirmed right now. If Ben Hameen was here, we could confirm it. But apparently Ben Hameen is too fucking good to show up today. No, I'm just kidding. He's probably still sleeping.
Jesus, man, fucking man.
I'm hot.
He just lost a fucking blood vessel, some shit.
Something.
Guys, someone throw a super sticker in there. Calm him down.
Calm me down, please. Here's the next story for those who missed it. On Monday Night Raw, Chad Gable was taken out by Penta backstage. Reportedly, Chad Gable is legitimately injured and will be out of action for the foreseeable future, which also means Grande El Americano is going to be out, allegedly. You know, I don't know if we still don't know who's under the masked hood. It's allegedly Chad Gable. For all we know, it could be what's the Dragunov or Ilya Dragunov, Tiffany Stratton's boyfriend or something like that. There was a rumor going around that those two have similar body images, and if he just like tan sprays his body,
no way in the world. Ilya Dragunov. Oh no, you're talking about Kaiser.
There you go. Whatever. I don't know who these people's names are.
No way. Kaiser and Gable have no way. No way.
I don't know. That's the
Kaiser's
rumor.
like tall and like Gable's fucking short, isn't he?
The rumor is it could be him. That they could switch it to him to try and, do a mask reveal. I don't know. The American-made leader just came off a busy weekend, as we saw, where he wrestled El Hijo del Vikingo. Then he competed in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. However, his last match was on June 17th against AJ Styles. And then of course Fightful Select is jokingly reported that Americano has sustained a similar injury in the exact same way as Gable, but the incident was a total coincidence. Yeah, Liz says Kaiser's way thinner and taller than Gable. Well, there you go. And then Ilja has been out with an ACL thing. Kaiser is Tiffany's boyfriend. Thank you for the update, Liz. That's what I'm saying. I don't fucking know.
Kaiser's on Tiffy time.
Kaiser is on Tiffy time. Are you a big fan of Chad Gable? Do you think this is going to be a big loss for WWE in the El Grande Americano storyline?
I think that there's a way that they can keep it going if they can have him just doing promos. Like, there's always a way to keep it going. Like, you can even have, like, get a wrestler with a similar body type to Gable to sort of, like, put on the mask and go out there and do matches. That would be pretty cool.
All right, fair enough. I'm not the biggest fan of Chad Gable, so to me, this doesn't
Look,
matter.
I don't know. I like him. I think he seems pretty. Like, I'm entertained by him.
All right, shoosh. Okay.
Fucking shoosh you fucking.
All right, you like him. You want to hang out with him. You want to be best friends with him. I get it, Pierce.
I don't know about that, but he doesn't look like he'd drink beer. So.
All right. Next story I've got here is Pat McAfee opens up about continuing his WWE Raw absence. So since WWE and the Money in the Bank earlier this month, Pat McAfee has been absent from the commentary desk on WWE Raw. During the first week of WWE SmackDown, Wade Barrett stepped in. Now Corey Graves has apparently stepped back in. And he revealed on his show that continuing to just like kind of catch up on life as a whole, post Money in the Bank, pre-Night of Champions feels like a good time. I was getting pretty exhausted, so shout out to everybody at WWE looking out for me. Very thankful. McAfee didn't reveal if he would appear on the broadcast desk at Night of Champions or if he would return to Raw sometime following the event in Riyadh, I don't know, whatever. With Graves expected to be his temporary replacement for the remainder of his time off. McAfee also competed a singles match for the first time in 2 years at WWE Backlash this last May. Are you sad to see Pat McAfee on off the broadcast booth right now? Are you a Pat McAfee fan, Pierce?
I like Pat. He seems like a cool dude. I think it's also a way to sell that he had the match with Gunther and also to put Gunther more over. Have him take it.
Yeah, but he came back like the very next week after that match.
Yeah, but how long was he back for?
A couple weeks.
Like, all right, okay, well, fuck, I don't know then. Fuck me, I'm at lost for words. And yeah, like they should have had him off for the very start, like
right
after the match, sell the fact. Yeah, he survived Gunther, but like, man, fuck, he's fucked up. Let him take some time off. Let him take some time off. Give him a month or two off. Then he comes back. Man, Gunther beat the shit out of me.
I mean, do you like Pat McAfee on the desk when he's calling matches? Because I know that people are split down the middle when it comes to Pat McAfee. Some people love him. Some people hate him. They find him annoying.
I like him better than Corey Graves.
Okay.
I prefer him and
Michael Cole.
him and Michael Cole over Corey Graves. Like, I'm not a fan of Corey Graves.
Really? Why aren't you a fan of Corey Graves?
I just don't like his commentary style. I don't like it. To me, it's very forced. It's very forced. It's very try-hardy. And yeah, and from what I heard, he's very much a politicker, and I don't fucking like that shit. So
I was gonna say someone who does commentary like yourself. That's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, it's just not my style. Like, it's very forced. Like, he's forcing to say cool shit or to cool lines or to, I don't know. Like, he's always trying to be the edgy, cool. I don't know. I don't know. He just tries too hard for me.
Liz says Corey always sounds smarmy and know-it-all. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he sounds like a real smarmy cunt. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you to an extent. Like, I don't dislike Corey Graves so much. I don't know if he's the best guy there they have on commentary. I think there are other guys even down in NXT main event who are doing a lot more commentary style work that I would probably enjoy. I do like Pat McAfee personally. Yeah. I like that he's kind of like the audience surrogate when he's at the desk. Like, you kind of feel like he represents, you feel like he represents the fans. You know what I mean? When he's talking there and reacting, he's kind of like the audience's version of themselves on commentary, and he kind of represents that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of like when I look at commentators, I kind of look at Pat McAfee very similar to like a Jerry the King Lawler, because I feel like Jerry the King Lawler really gave off that vibe when he was, on the commentary desk with JR, where he gave almost like his reactions were almost fan-like, like he was popping for everything. And you see, puppies and stuff like that. And you see and Pat McAfee's basically, I feel Pat McAfee's like a modern day Jerry the King Lawler on commentary.
Obviously, the difference is Jerry the King Lawler had the gravitas and credibility, right, of being a Memphis wrestling legend, whereas Pat McAfee, other than doing a couple matches and training with Rip Rogers, he's not necessarily got the same credibility as Jerry the King Lawler. So I think
but it was completely different though. Like Jerry Lawler, the wrestler, and Jerry Lawler, the commentator, I feel are like two completely separate Hall of Fame careers, to be honest with you. Like, and that I'm talking about the similarities about how they work on a commentary booth, and I see that there's a lot of like I can see Pat McAfee has done a lot of time studying Jerry Lawler.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know about that, but I'll let you have the last word on that. So according to Fightful Select, former WWE personality Vicky Guerrero has been telling people that she will be back in WWE in a few weeks for some special appearances. While Guerrero hasn't exactly said what she'll be doing, the timing is very interesting. WWE's second Evolution event is scheduled for Sunday, July 13th in Atlanta, Georgia. Guerrero has a long history with WWE that goes back many years. She's a regular character, blah, blah, blah. She'd work in AEW. In September 2024, Guerrero was spotted backstage at a SmackDown taping, which surprised many in the industry. First off, would you be excited to see Vicky Guerrero come back? And secondly, do you think Vicky Guerrero can still push it? Push it
Real good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Vicky was cool as fuck, bro. Like, yeah, man. Like, bro, I will always pop for the heel shit, bro. And I think heel Vicky Guerrero was fucking one of the most entertaining characters in WWE. You know what I mean? I thought she was cool as shit. Yeah, man. I'd be down to see her come back.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely annoying enough to where she caused people to get a reaction.
But dude, when you're a heel, you want to be like so repulsive to the audience that like that your very sound of your voice turns them off, and that she could just get heat from going, "Excuse me." Bro, that like she was getting nuclear fucking heat.
Yeah, she would. She would come out and people would not let her even talk. So that's a good point. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's do an update on a story that we've been talking about here, and that is Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff's Real American Freestyle.
Oh, you asked me this about last time we were on.
Yeah, well, we got some updated news. Tickets went on sale earlier this month, and unfortunately for the promotion, sales are off to a slow start. In the first count, WrestleTix noted that only 380 tickets have been distributed with the current setup of 3,800, and the cheapest ticket is $40. WrestleTix added that there is a total of 13,000 seats available on the map itself. So they've only sold 380 tickets for their first event so far, which is set to debut on Saturday, August 30th, 2025. Now, they still got 2 months to try and advertise and get people to buy this, but this isn't a good start.
That doesn't work for me, brother. No. And I guarantee you this event doesn't go down. And I reckon
you think it's going to get canceled,
bro. Not only do I think he gets canceled, I think it gets canceled quietly, where shit just like gets removed from fucking social media. If you know what I'm saying, like Hogan and fucking Bischoff's video, that shit just will fucking disappear.
So we just pretend it never happened.
100. It'll just be, yeah, bro. I reckon they'll just fucking, yeah, some shit will go down and they'll do it. Bischoff will be on the podcast going, I don't know what the fuck happened. Me and Hulk, we had the business deal, and it was on their end, and it fell through on their end, and gaslight around, and then next, fuck Vince Russo, and here we are. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. That is funny. No, I agree. It's not a good start. I'm surprised. I mean, again, granted, they're 2 months away, But you would think if they've got all these people backing this, venture, there would be a lot more commercials. There'd be a lot more social media advertisements. There'd be a lot more interviews from Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan making the rounds on radios and podcasts and television shows. I mean, the thing about it is what people don't realize, anybody can get on the local news. Okay. It's not like a big deal. I don't know how it works in Australia, but here in the United States, everyone's like, oh, I'm on the local news. And it's like, unless, you're, let's say a local celebrity,
Sure.
Nobody's going to just ask you to be on it, but that doesn't mean you can't pay for the time. Like,
well, I mean, I'm somewhat of a celebrity. I get asked to be on like HMG from time to time. Does that make me like a celebrity in some point?
No, like, that just makes you a valued member of the Hami Media Group.
Oh, I appreciate that. I love HMG.
Well, what I'm saying is these guys could be paying to get on local networks if they really want to, and have sit down interviews. Like when I worked at a couple of local news stations, every now and then during a news segment, they'd have some sort of opportunity, maybe 20-30 minute paid programming with inside the news telecast, right? Or they'd interview somebody. We're going to go to Billy and Sparky here, where Billy's brought his dog in, Sparky here, and they're talking about the blah, 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 blah. And then they bring them on. Or we've got a band that's in the studio today, and they're going to play us some music. You know what I mean? Like things that you can pay for to get on the news, to get brand awareness when it comes to whatever you're trying to do. They could be doing that, and it doesn't cost that much on a local level.
See, we got local radio, but I don't think we have local TV.
Okay.
What does someone say? Wait, that's not Ben doing an Aussie accent. Everybody bald with beards looks the same. Hey, listen, pal. I don't know what to say, man. Like, this is me, Ben. Just a new studio.
That's how I like them, pal. Hit you and quit you. Get on out of here.
Yeah, pal.
Titties and biceps.
There you go. Now you guys got some Ben Hameen there.
There you go.
Yeah, but to wrap this up, it is a little sad that this Real American Freestyle has only sold 380 tickets thus far. Personally, as someone who just likes seeing sports, and I was, a little excited to see what they were going to bring to the table here. So I hope that they can get it under control and at least sell 3,800 tickets. It sounds like it could be a TNA situation where they might have to just give tickets out for free.
I mean, bro, like, is there really that big of a fucking audience for amateur wrestling? Like, I'm not shitting on amateur wrestling. Like, I think it's cool and all that, but it's like, is there a commercial appeal to it?
So I can't speak to all of everyone. I can only speak to my experience as someone who works for the worldwide leader in sports. And during collegiate, like wrestling, I guess you want to say playoffs or finals or whatever they call their version of a playoffs. When that's going on, it is popular. People do watch it. People watch it and they get really into it, seeing their schools and their representatives of those schools vie for, the collegiate national championship. So I would say that, yes, there is a market here. How big is that market is what we're learning, though, right? On a professional level, because at the collegiate level, thousands of people do show up to watch these wrestlers, right? But, and it gets good ratings because we show it on all the college networks. Yeah. But it doesn't seem like so far either the representatives, that being Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, maybe they're not the right guys to do this. Maybe people look at them and go, what the hell? We got these fake wrestlers now trying to put on a real wrestling show. So maybe they're not the best guys to do it. Or, we're learning that after college and the Olympics, people don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, I know. It depends who's in the tournament as well, bro. Like, if they had, like, some ex-UFC fighters, some, like, you know what I mean? If they open that shit up, like, what are we looking at? Like, who is the level of, like, maybe even current UFC fighters? Like, imagine, a UFC champion going in there and fucking competing. Well, like, it would never happen, but it'd be cool as fuck.
I think UFC, didn't they just debut something last night?
Don't they have like a jiu-jitsu?
Yeah,
thing?
so they did last night. They did UFC BJJ. It was for free on YouTube. I had a friend who was hitting me up about it. So yeah, they did their first BJJ event. While not wrestling itself, that is more focused on ground movements and stuff like that, and has some background in wrestling itself. But yeah, I do feel kind of bad that this hasn't taken off. Final Boss makes a good point. Marks love wrestling and think it's a real sport. And when this gets created, nobody gets interested. So I don't know. Hopefully they can sell some tickets. I don't really care about Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan having success. They're rich how many times over and don't need the money. I'm more or less interested in giving those younger opportunities to young men and women to actually continue their amateur wrestling careers. So that's what I'd more or less.
You know what, as well, they have to have some of those athletes have to have personalities as well, because it's like anything new, man. Like it's like any new sport. Like you could put on some incredible performances, but if there's like a cold fart warmed up behind it, like, bro, what are you gonna like? I mean, what are you actually getting behind here? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to have like a Chael Sonnen or a Conor McGregor, and then you need to have some fucking pro wrestling, bro. You need to have the baby faces and heels.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Even in UFC, you've got your baby faces and heels. You've got your characters. So for any brand, especially in this day and age in 2025, if you take a stance on one side, you can drum up controversy, or you can get people talking either to agree or disagree with you. And if you don't take that stand, it seems like it's harder to break out. You know what I mean? Like even me, like I don't come on here and say controversial things. Granted, I do work for a company, and I don't represent them when I do these podcasts or anything like that. But like, I don't want someone to like go back to my company and be like, Matt said on the podcast A, B, C, and D. You know what I mean? Like, so I kind of have to watch myself as well on the kind of hot takes that I have, because I don't want it to necessarily be a negative reflection on my own job. I don't want to lose my job. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it, man. I'm just one of those people. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
like,
yeah.
I mean, like, I just put it all out there, bro, and I deal with the consequences later, bro. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I just fucking fire off at the mouth and then go, oh shit, now I have to fucking deal with the consequences.
Yeah, but knowing my luck, it'll be like, that'll be the one time I say something, and then that'll be the one time somebody listens and gets pissed off or whatever. All right.
He's doing UFC BJ's announcer.
Yeah, UFC BJJ. Are you a fan of Aleister Black, Pierce?
I mean, his wife's pretty hot.
Do you feel like Aleister Black's return has been momentous? Do you think it's been good?
No. it's been lackluster at best. Same with Rusev.
Well, according to PW Insider, there's been praise about Black in WWE's creative circles, and there's reportedly been discussion about giving Black a stronger push on SmackDown. PW Insider noted the information is coming from the same sources who said that Damian Priest was earmarked to be elevated to the upper card in 2023. WWE said to be happy with Black's in-ring work and merchandise sales, and Black's recent interactions with top-tier talent was said to have been intentionally done as part of the plan to elevate him further. Dude, I don't get it. I don't get what the appeal of Aleister Black is.
It's fucking tatted up Dutch cunt. Like there's not much appeal to it, bro. Like you just, I mean, they fucking, who is the fucking cunt they put him with in AEW? The other tatted up cunt?
Brody King?
Yeah, like, bro, he just looked like he's fucking fat stunt double. Like, what the like, what's Aleister Black now in WWE? Like, I saw you were supposed to have a match with who was it? Fucking some, like, you were supposed to have a match with some cunt, but fucking R-Truth came out, and then I don't know, like, I don't know, the whole pointless segment. Like, what was the like? It just seems like they don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I don't really understand what the appeal is. Like, I from whenever, like, I didn't watch NXT. So I know that's where he got popular, and that's what elevated him to the main roster, and then, of course, to AEW, and then back to WWE. I just never seen the appeal of Aleister Black. To me, he's always been like a fake cult leader, like somebody who's trying to be a cult leader, but it never comes to fruition. They never give him a big enough push. They never surround him with the right enough people, you know. And honestly, like I think his promos are mid.
Yeah.
Like I don't think like there's something, you know, larger than life about his character.
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't know. It doesn't resonate with me personally. But even in the sense that like, have they really gotten behind him? You know what I mean? Like you're only as over as they allow you to be. You know? I mean, you look at the shit that Karrion Kross did in that like post WrestleMania like shoot work promo thing that he did. You know, that's sort of not what I say. Aleister Black, fucking Karrion Kross. You know, that was something like it that he sort of like stomped the way through. But like, there's a lot of guys like, yeah, you're a victim of the creative that they give you as well, essentially.
Yeah, and I would see, and I would say Karrion Kross, I feel like has a lot more money potentially written on him. You know what I mean? But that's just me personally. I'm sure some people look at Karrion Kross and think the same way I think about Aleister Black. Like, what's the return on this guy? What, you know, he's just some sort of cult-like leader and just laughs and has a hot lady. You know, so I mean, I can definitely see both sides. I think there is a bigger upside with Karrion Kross, as I think I've seen more Karrion Kross's acting chops in a lot of the stuff that he produces, and then you see him come on to WWE TV, and it doesn't end up being the same type of character because of what you're saying. WWE is not giving him a lot to work with. The creativity isn't there. Yeah, Final Boss Engage says there's zero creativity in wrestling. That's true.
Yeah, they should do. Why don't have Aleister Black join the LWO and be like, like have him be like the Sami Zayn to the Bloodline, being like, yeah, what's up, guys? I get invited to the fiesta. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that'd be funny. And then like you just I don't know, and then you can see him get choloed out. Oh shit, we lost his webcam.
Yeah, I'm still here. Someone's trying to call me. I don't know what that was about. So yeah, okay. Aleister Black. All right, let's go to the last bit of information here. The last story I've got for you so far. Cody Rhodes teases that we are probably at the tail end of his run as a babyface in WWE. While speaking to Kay Adams at Fanatics Fest in New York City, Cody Rhodes commented on his enjoyment of being a babyface, but teased that changes could be coming. Quote, I don't ever get tired of being cheered by the fans. I do think we are probably at the tail end of it, though. I would love to do it till the end of my career. At a certain point, they want to see somebody else. I get that, and that's where you have to change as a character. Cody said this. He said, I think you've had a good solid year, maybe even 3 years, because I'm not changing until I'm changed. If that makes any sense. If The Rock had it his way, I would have been changed already. I think he sees something maybe I don't see. He's a smart individual. Maybe I follow his lead. What do you think? Do you think the fans are getting tired of babyface Cody Rhodes? Do you think we're getting to the heel Cody Rhodes character that we haven't really seen since Stardust, or where he used to had a broken nose and would put the bag over people's faces?
Yeah, I think it's I think if you're going to turn him heel, you should have done it at WrestleMania. And I think now it's too soon. If he's going to turn heel, he's got to see the year out as a baby face. Maybe at the end of the year, turn him heel, and then that essentially turns John Cena babyface. I don't know. That would be I mean, like at least like try and get a payoff out of it some way. Like I just don't see turning him heel in the next couple of weeks or in the next month. It just seems like kind of pointless. Like why do it now? And when you could have done it at WrestleMania, or you could have done it earlier and then made it much bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I agree to an extent. You know, I think they could turn him heel whenever they want to at this point. I think
he also said 1 to 3 years, so he could be essentially saying he's got another 12 months as being a babyface.
Yeah, I'm kind of I don't know, man. I'm not a big Cody Rhodes fan, so like whether he's a babyface or heel doesn't really bother me. I'm not the biggest fan of Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry, he does not look like the larger than life character that I want to see. And I'm not, and I get that's where we are at in professional wrestling. You know, these guys look more like your average, you know, guy who goes to the gym and keeps himself in shape. But there, you know, we're long gone are the days of your characters like John Cena, where John Cena at the height of his, you know, popularity, you know, looked like a monster, right?
Yeah,
Batista,
he was gassed to the fucking gills.
you know, Batista, you know, gas to the fucking get these guys gassed up is what I'm saying. Pierce.
Yeah, dude, like, have you seen, like, in the news they had the fucking, like, they've got this thing going on called the roided Olympics or some shit, where it's like they're allowing everyone to piss hot for every competition. like, dude, and it's like, this is no joke. And you see like these swimmers and they've got like traps that have just come up to their fucking ears, and they're just like the sides of their necks are just pulsating. And these guys are just like swimming. And the thing is, if they break a world record, they get like 200 grand. And they basically said there's like, they will be drug testing, and anyone who is not taking in performance enhancing drugs will be disqualified.
So in the Roid Olympics, you have to be gassed up to the gills. Well, you know, that's, I mean, they've got something for everything these days, right? I mean, you've got Power Slap, which is still going on, which is,
bro. But you know what? I'm all for, like, you know what? Let them like get roided the fuck out and do that shit.
yeah.
Like, as long as it's not like a combat sport like boxing or Muay Thai or UFC or like MMA, like UFC. But like stuff like that. But if it's like swimming and tennis and fucking diving and baseball and fucking, I don't know, like non-contact sport where you can fuck someone up, but you know what I mean? Like, not like football and shit like that. Like, just, I don't know, swimming, running, athletics.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Shot put, you know, and I get
let them fucking get roided up for that, but not where they're gonna fucking punch someone in the fucking head or like hit someone in a tackle playing like rugby or some shit. Like, that's just fucking dumb. Well, it'd be cool to see like these big roided up cunts fucking doing that, just tearing their knees out of each other. But I digress.
You digress. All right, well, that's all the hot news or news and stuff I've got, unless you've got something else you want to talk about, Pierce.
Nah, pal, it's 20 to midnight here. I need to go have a shower, and after being to the gym tonight, need to go shower up and smoke up and kick back and chill out, man.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping in today on another edition of the Friday Locker Room without Vince McMahon, without Ben. Hopefully Ben is oh wait, I just got an update. Ben said that he has a wicked pressure headache, hurts to open his eyes right now, so that is why he did not join us. Let me message him. It's all good, dude. We're wrapping up. So yeah, guys, that's another edition of the Friday Locker Room right here located on Hami Media Group and channelattitude.com. Please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you're watching it live. All the likes, comments, shares, that really does help out the channel. This episode will be uploaded up on channelattitude.com, as well as we're probably just going to keep it up for free right now, as we're still trying to work out the kinks, as Channel Attitude makes the shift here at the end of the year, as we start to get our Patreon rocking and rolling, and as we get memberships rocking as rolling as well. So we definitely appreciate it. You can check out my podcast at South Park Pod on all podcast outlets, as well as on YouTube, where we do live podcasts every Tuesday night, and we do top 6 and top 10 takeaways. So go ahead and check that out, and we'll be back again tomorrow with the Smack Attack with Jimmy T and whoever's going to be there, whether it be the Professor or Rick. Then we've got this Sunday's HMG Wreckage, Impact Attack on Monday, I Like It Raw on Monday, Next Level Review, and Monday Locker Room. So it's all coming up right here on channelattitude.com. Thanks so much, guys, for hanging out with us once again each and every week right here on Hameen Media Group.
That's how I like them, pal. Hit you and quit you. Get on out of here.
No bread, no water, just meat. That's what's going to happen tonight.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.